Hi, Gary.
How are we?
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Blendline TV, episode 14, coming to you from the Blendline TV offices here at Sydney. Gary O'Brien joining me yet again. Gary, big
Daniel,
weekend.
yes, a bit going on. You were up at Bathurst.
That was, yes.
Bit of a preview of what we're going to see there in November with the
up?
Australian Hillclimb Championship.
Should be a good one.
And I was out at Shannon's Nationals at Sydney
Sydney
Motorsport
Motorsport
Park.
Park.
We got to see the new TCR Australia Series.
Very
got to see some of our own categories that we cover from time to
That's
time.
true.
With the Radicals and the Australian Prototype Series and plenty of other action going on as well.
Be able to see
GT3 Cup Challenge.
Prototypes will be at Phillip Island next for their next round on June 28 to 30 with the Australian Production Car Championship, which kicks off for round 2 down there. It's going to be a big one, and you'll be able to see it here live on Blendline TV. Plenty going on around the nation and around the world. Of course, we also have to think of some unfortunate news earlier this week with Niki Lauda passing away.
Yeah, unfortunately we lost former Formula 1 world champion in Niki Lauda.
Yeah.
Survived a big fire back in the
Huge crash.
70s and
Definitely.
came back and won a world championship after it. So had to be one of the greatest comebacks of all time, or one of the gutsiest at least.
For sure. And they played an interview with him on Fox Sports as an encore last night, which was pretty interesting to watch as well, going in depth throughout his career with the Ferrari years and developing everything like that. Certainly one of the greats of motorsport and will be sorely missed in the Formula 1 community for sure. And then we also had closer to home a bit of
Kerry
news as
Butcher's
well.
passed away, long-time president of the New South Wales Road Racing Club. Was put to rest last Thursday.
Yep.
And, so our condolences to
the Butcher's family. And we'll no doubt see them at some event not too far away.
Sydney Motorsport Park in June.
Yeah, June with the HQs. We'll be broadcasting the HQ 1 hour endurance race, not live. It'll be post-produced TV for that one. And we'll bring that to you here on Blendline TV in the coming weeks, just after the first weekend of June. Before we get things kicked off, of course, news today coming out that the Stadium Super Trucks may well be returning to Australia. We've had them here before on Blendline TV with their round at Sydney Motorsport Park last year with the AASA and the AMRS. Pretty exciting to see that they might be coming back for the fans. So we thought we'd ask the question of, are you excited and what would you like to see from them, I guess, is the question.
Bigger jumps, but I don't know if that'll happen.
I think they're going to give them smaller jumps. So we saw some big jumps at Sydney, that one launching down the front straight. But we'll move things along now as well. So let us know in the comments what you think about stadium trucks coming back. Is it good for Australian motorsport? Should we be looking at other things? What should we be doing on that one? Of course, we've got a lot of state motorsport coming up this weekend at Wakefield Park. Make sure to get down there to check out some great racing. Pretty bumper fields as well. Wakefield putting on their 25th anniversary year, and this is the state event for that year, I believe. So the 25th anniversary event is later on in the year, but this is the 25th anniversary event for the state championships.
Camp State Championship.
Yeah,
and of course they'll, I think there's T-shirts and caps and all sorts of commemorative stuff that you can pass on to your grandkids.
Yeah.
Jeez,
Gary, we've got a bit of time before I need to do that.
Hopefully the track will still be there.
We'll see how the track is.
Yeah.
But before we do that, let's go up to Mount Panorama, where we ventured up on Sunday to have a look. Scott Walker, bring them back. So Scott's obviously keen. We ventured up, easy for you to say, to Mount Panorama.
It was easy for me. I didn't have to say it.
The Bathurst Light Car Club Hillclimb weekend. They had a Conrad Straight Sprint flying 250, 500.
Yeah, flying 1/5.
Flying 1/5.
And then followed it up with a club-based hill climb from the top of Mountain Straight, or on the crest of Mountain Straight, up to the top of the hill. It's the longest continuous, I think it's about 1.6 k's or something like that. So it's the longest championship level hill climb remaining.
Yes.
In Australia.
And it will be the National Hill Climb this coming November. You're all live here on Blendline TV. We'll play some footage for you because there were some great cars up there on the weekend, a big field. And the Bathurst Make sure to check out the Bathurst Light Car Club website to be able to get your entries in and more information on that. This is Glenn Ames going up in the... Gary West, that was. And then this pretty interesting... little thing caught our mind. Stephen King in the 2014 Uber car. There's some great onboard online which we'll throw up on the Blendline TV page as well. I tell you what, it makes your back hurt just looking at it as those guys run the cars up the hill. And a great day, great watching at Mount Panorama. The guys put on a lot of effort, and you're able to just sit up there at the top and watch plenty of really cool pieces of machinery come across the top of the mountain.
And with the amount of classes available to you, there's if whatever your car, whether it be one of these,
it's pretty cool,
or any other sort of car, you'll fit into a class, and you could well come away as an Australian hill climbing champion.
There were plenty of road cars up there on the weekend. Of course, being a club day, it was a little bit more relaxed, and the guys just enjoying their running. This was cool, stay around across the top.
Right.
Interesting to see. Target
production cars or target cars.
Yeah.
They even have time attack type cars there now as well.
This caught my eye.
Beautiful old X1 Tirana.
Yeah. Getting up the hill, so you can see that even if you've got just a standard road car, you can get up there and have a run. Fastest time of the day went to, I believe it was Gary West in the Pilbeam MP82. We've got some footage of that run on the Facebook page, so if you go and check that out, he managed a 40.55 result. Oh, actually, no, Glenn Ames did win it, 38.89.
Well, West has been there before. I covered some of those events when they were run up the S's, up the other way in the past, and all the way from Western Australia, so he's pretty keen to have a run. And you'll see lots of good cars. Malcolm Osa, I gather, will be the favourite in his turbocharged Hayabusa OMS 28. He won the state championship round 2, which was held on this particular track.
Even some sports sedans getting up there and having a run. Jeremy Mack there in the...
I imagine that Wayne Mackerel might be back. Not Wayne Mackerel. It's the Mackerel Datsun 260Z, or they call it a 600Z because it's got a Chev 6 litre in it and 4-wheel drive. That's a pretty awesome bit of kit.
And Pulsar getting a run as well. So you can just see there's a huge amount of variety in what was running up there. And 2 days of live streaming action coming your way on November 2nd and 3rd. Get up to the mountain though and have a look at it if you want to get there live. It's a great weekend to get up there. This thing definitely was something different. The bathtub getting a run up and a bit slow away from the line. Yeah, we were talking to the committee, and they were saying that some of the faster guys in these outright cars with Formula type chassis, depending on what they're running, will actually enter the Griffiths Bend, turn 1, at well over 200 kilometres an hour from that standing start.
Yeah, well, it's a downhill run into the first. It'll help the bathtub, won't it?
Get hope so. The first corner. But cool to see different cars getting around up there, and it's really a great way to actually be able to have a run at Mount Panorama these days, because of course there's so many events there now, and some of those have moved a lot more towards the professional end of the spectrum with the 12-hour and the 1,000, and this is an opportunity now to be able to have a run. They are doing some, Mount Conrod Straight sprints, mountain straight hill climbs. There's the S's hill climb in reverse, which would definitely be an
which
interesting
was
one
the
to
opening round of the New South Wales Championship this year.
So
also they do rally sprint, other events there as well.
And then we've also got Adam Bressington saying the kids love the stadium trucks. So thanks for the comment, Adam. I guess they do.
We'll see him on the weekend running Touring Car Masters down at Winton.
There you go, Winton Motor Raceway for the supercars round. Moving things along though, we're going to take a look down at a small circuit down on the New South Wales Highlands,
you call it?
Marulan Pheasant Wood Circuit with the cheap car challenge. Yet another round there last weekend. So we got some pictures and footage sent up from the guys at Pheasant Wood there, and we can see a bit of information on that one. You can see an overcast start of the day down at Pheasant Wood.
That's all it is.
A bit of fog. It'll lift, maybe get higher than the drone shot even. But good to see a good field of cars down there.
Haven't they done an impressive job?
It's been brilliant.
It was originally a concept of Gary Wilmington's, taken over by the Sallys that are now running it, and they've made it quite the event now to go there. Cheap car challenges. I believe they're going to run a round of the Legends there at some stage as well.
So another good circuit getting up, down.
But as we keep saying, week in, week out, we're going to go down and do a walk around. And
I was on the phone with Cameron Shelley just last week to discuss going down there and having a look. So keep an eye out on Blendline TV. We'll go down and check out that circuit. They also developed a rallycross section out the back, which hopefully will get use again in the not too distant future. We'd love to see some more rallycross back in New South Wales. Of course, didn't quite keep going with the national series that they were trying to develop for a while there, But you can see here, good to see 14 cars out, and it was the Raceaway Track Time team of Fowler, Dangalos, Loa and Floresta who took home the victory. They managed 202 laps across almost 5 hours of racing. The EFI Spares car 201 laps just behind them. So got some onboard here from Red Rocket Racing. Thanks to them for sharing that with the Pheasant Wood Circuit and that being made aware to us. And you can see here, we'll probably let you just sit back and enjoy a little bit of a lap. Now the audio quality is a little bit off on this one just because of how the camera picked it up. But still good to see this circuit down on the Central Highlands. So let's enjoy a lap around Marulan or Pheasant Wood Circuit so you can get an idea of what's there now and what's available. So that's about a lap of Marulan there on Pheasant Wood Circuit. Really got to get my head around Pheasant Wood Circuit down at Marulan and look at the work they've done. Great little circuit. I know as well before the opening round a few of the TCR teams went down there, and there's been a few drive days down there now with corporate clients. It's good to see another place starting to get up.
That's what we want to see more of. A busy little track, and imagine with 20 cars, doing 225 laps, you wouldn't get too many laps where you'd be on your own.
Well, now I'm just noticing on the result list as well that they've actually started Group 1, Group 2 racing, so obviously a difference between the two groups. 196 laps for the
Maybe
victor
they're
of
the
Group
$500
2.
cars.
Must be. Scar Racing, Crabtree, Bent, Dwyer and Constantino leading the way home before Midas. Well done. So some interesting race teams. Unfortunately, Stay Focused coming at the back of the group, so obviously
they weren't real focused
and weren't able to keep going. No. But Pheasant Wood Circuit with some great racing, and hopefully we will see the Radicals down there. Not Radicals, sorry. The Legend cars. I'll get there in a minute.
Legends?
Down there.
I think Aussie racing cars have had around there in the past, before the track was modified and widened.
I know Legend cars had around there earlier this year as part of their new series, and hopefully we'll be able to see them down there a little bit later. Thanks, John Payne. Loved the Hillclimb footage. We certainly enjoyed our time up at the Bathurst Light Car Club Hillclimb, and
always enjoy going to Bathurst.
100%, any excuse will do. And good to get down as well to the Motor Racing Museum, where they're changing up the exhibits a bit more now, with the help of some of the motorsport industry, and getting some cool cars down there to be able to have. So that's very cool. We'll go to more national level footage now and have a look at some photos supplied to us by one of our great friends and cameramen on the show, Ian. He went out, Uncle Ian, and took some photos out at the Shannons Nationals.
A monster now.
He got himself a photo camera, and now he's a little monster himself, and he went out to check out some of the racing out there and got some photos for that one. And Gary, I'll let you take it away since you were out there to explore the weekend. Prototypes and Radicals.
Prototypes. Well, Prototypes, of course, round one of their series, they actually had a lot of those guys came up for the last state championship round around in Super Sports.
Yep.
This is GT3 Cup Challenge we're looking at the moment, and some people finding out the limits of the track early on. Pretty good racing, 3 different winners in GT3 Cup Challenge. Michelin tired, of course, these cars. You might be looking for another set of Michelins on that particular one. Going back to Prototypes, David Barham in the Honda-powered Chiron from Queensland won the first race ahead of Mark Short in the Suzuki-powered Prince, which incidentally was once a Formula Ford, believe it or not. Been added some panels to it, and now it's called the Prince. And
really?
Yeah.
Wow. We'll have to do an under the skin of that one, Gary.
Short won the second race. Barham went off the track at turn 6 on the opening lap. Had a big lock-up. Took him a while to get going, so actually finished the lap down. And here we're looking at the Radicals by the look of it. Radicals actually raced amongst the prototypes as well. Chris Perini won the first race, and second race went to Peter Anseline and Ollie Smith. They combined, so with the obligatory pit stops in those races, there is time for a driver change and then some, because you have to stop for a certain period of time and come out. Unfortunately, Perini had some suspension dramas in the second race, but still managed to finish, and he now leads that series. But as you can see, that plenty of action going on as we see a couple of the Radicals going around there, and you got that thing going again. Wasn't one of the front running ones.
A couple of good races for those guys getting endurance rounds out there as well.
Well, all the Radical races are actually 50-minute races.
Yeah.
There's 2 of them on the weekend, as we again see the number 69 in trouble.
If you want to watch some Radical racing, we've got plenty on Blendline TV with our work with the Sharons event. They were supporting that at Sydney Motorsport Park earlier on in the season for their second round. This was their third round of the championship, I believe.
Third round, they went at Bathurst to start with, and then Sydney Motorsport Park when you did the opening round of the Australian Production Car Series, so that was their second round. Chris Pancioni came up from Class B in the number 76 car for Porsches into the open class, got a podium, position 3 in the third of their races, so he's come along nicely. He was actually doing some outstanding things in Class B last year. Here we see some of the new TCR Australia cars look pretty smack, and as you can see, they're all pretty close. So I think they were sort of under a bit of restraint in the first race to ensure that they had all their cars available to them for races 2 and 3, and I think the gloves were off then because we've seen some penalties handed out and a little bit more biff and bash in the second and third races.
Jimmy Vernon, who we had on the show earlier on before the Bathurst 6 hour, unfortunately not a great opening round for him after drama.
It stalled on the grid and got hit by the Dutchman in the Audi, who had nowhere to go. He actually got a great start for all of a couple of metres.
All the metres, yeah, exactly. Unfortunate for him, but that's the way it goes. And now the prototypes will head down to Phillip Island on June 29th to 30th for their next round with the Australian Production Car Championship.
And the Radicals
head to New Zealand, I think.
And Radicals next round's also at Phillip Island, but prior to...
A bit earlier.
They're on the long weekend of June, so a bit beforehand.
Bit of action going on for them, of course, this weekend. Down at Winton, the supercars around. We'll see TCM.
XLs. We do a bit
Victorian
of stuff
XLs
with
will be
XL.
down there.
Well, it's Australian XLs. I think you'll find there's quite a few Queenslanders going.
A few New South Wales cars as well.
And I dare say a couple from South Australia will make the trip there as well.
That's it.
I think Michael Clementi's on the entry list. He's the Nationals title holder at the moment.
If we see here, I've got them up on the camera. Computer here to have a look at some of the New South Wales cars, and you can see Crossland making his way down. We'll just cycle through a few of the New South Wales Series 3 New South Wales Hyundai XL Racing if you want to check out a few of those guys who will be down there. It's good to see the presentation level of XL Racing going up and up as well.
Well, last year they went through these
Nissan Tribute on it.
Well, I was going to say they went through Tribute colours last couple of years. They seem to have gone away from it a little bit this year.
Yep.
And gone back to more of their own conventional styling.
Yeah.
So, but I love the Tribute stuff that we're doing.
I was going to say
there's
there's
good ones around.
A couple look back there at the A9X style for some of the Tiranas that were back in the day. But heading now as well, going from one track to another. We're going to have a look across at WA before we go and have a preview of the New South Wales Motor Racing Championships this weekend. We're going to head across to WA because they've got an interesting event on this weekend, the point-to-point shootout, brought to you by the WA Sporting Car Club. We've got some pictures of what the circuit looks like here. Starting on the backside of Barbagallo, it'll be supported by our great friends at the AASA who are helping them put this one on. You can't
Actually,
quite
I
see
think
the red line.
It's races, isn't it? Oh, no, AASA. Okay.
There you go.
I'll stand corrected on that one.
You can see there, starts down the back on the Hillclimb circuit, makes its way onto the circuit, runs reverse direction down the old pit lane. 3, 2, 1 corner.
It's a rolling start, isn't it? Don't you come through flat out?
I have no idea. Point-to-point shootout.
Didn't read the sub-regs?
I did not
Sound
read
like
the
a race car
sub-regs.
driver.
That's it. No, exactly. Total combined time. Nominate time for each run. So it's almost like a regularity, but a point-to-point. And these are some general.
Well, instead of being a regularity, it's fast.
Yeah, but you've still got to set your time, nominate a time.
Oh, you got to nominate a time.
And you miss your points. Shootout drivers will be required to nominate a time for each run to the nearest tenth of a second. Every tenth of a second above or below the driver's nominated time will attract 10 points.
Uh-huh.
So
there you go.
Up to you how you would like to
point.
do it. Yeah, that's it. And you can get yourself a license there for a AASA day license and be able to have a run in that one. So interesting way to see Barbagallo and Winter Motor Raceway. I wonder how they'll go with the new resurfacing there as you go onto the old surface out the back of the pits and new surface for the track, and it'll be interesting to run through.
It should be.
Definitely a different event, isn't it?
It is. It's not to get people.
It is, definitely. It is.
Well, we're not all that familiar with point-to-point. Let's be honest.
Still, something different for our friends
it
over
is.
in WA.
It is, and it's participation level. That's the most important part about it.
We hear there'll be some changes.
I didn't want to sound facetious.
No, but still,
it's
WA.
Come across that way.
Good to see that the AASA is supporting events over there and being able to get them to run. And some different style events as well. Hopefully we'll have some info on maybe more different style events they're involved with when we have Chris Lewis-Williams on the show. May well be next Wednesday, not 100% sure, working way through with his management team on that one. Busy schedule, of course, down at the V8s this weekend, which we keep mentioning, but
Supercars.
It's the big show in town, down at Winton Motor Raceway. We'll be at Wakefield Park, however, with the New South Wales Motor Racing Championships as we get the third round of the New South Wales Sports Sedans and the third round of the Shockwave Science New South Wales production touring cars underway down there. Endurance season starts for the production touring cars and third round for New South Wales Sports Sedans. So we'll put up some imagery of New South Wales Sports Sedans opening round down at Wakefield Park to be able to have a look at while we have a chat a bit about their championship standings and where they're at. At the moment, Beryl Chetton leads the way. You can see Chetton and Lacey there.
Well, they seem to be the two protagonists. Grant Dillman in the Blue Falcon.
He'll be one to watch.
He'll be one to watch. They certainly must be getting a handle on this car. It proved pretty quick at Sydney Motorsport Park for a while anyway. Of course, they ran there with the DPA Performance National Series as well.
That's it.
So we'll be looking forward to seeing them run down. They're back on their own this time. Yes. And Anthony McCready there in the 97 Nissan with Chef Power, of course. He'll be amongst those Oddies making a comeback to the sport after a couple of years out of it. And we've got this little Datsun 1600 Turbo nicknamed because this little rocket ship runs in Division 2.
Tikos has had a bit of a tough run so far this year. Unfortunately for him, he's had a bit of work to do to the car after each round. A bit of work to do as well for Steve Lacey there. That's the thing that probably damaged his championship the most so far this year. This little knock up the back here of Smith.
Little knock?
Well, caught him at the wrong place, both of them having a miscommunication. But that's what's effectively put Steve Lacey 30 points behind Beryl Chetton.
Yeah. But in this sort of championship, you just only have to have one bad round and
that's it.
Well, Steve won't need another bad round, but
no.
if Beryl has a bad one or Grant's had indifferent luck at the moment.
Well, Grant's 80 points off from the championship lead.
But he just needs one good one and he's right back in it. So
unfortunately, it's been super consistent for Sports Sedans for the last couple of years for the championship battles, so he might have a bit of a rough time.
When you go faster.
As you can see, a few of the different types of car, and this is Beryl Chetton coming home to win the opening race of the weekend. He gained 78 points at round 1, 63 at round 2 for a total of 141. While Steve Lacey went the other way, 42 points at round 1 and 68 at round 2. So he clawed 5 back. It's not enough if he keeps clawing 5 back per event to be able to get it, but good 2 days of action down at Wakefield Park coming your way this weekend. And if you want to get down there, make sure to go and have a look. There's going to be plenty going on. The guys are putting on a big effort for the whole of the state championships. And no doubt New South Wales Sports Sedans will put on plenty of action. You'll be able to see it here on Blendline TV. All of the highlights coming up in the next couple of weeks. I think we have that show scheduled for June 3rd or something like that. So
that won't be that far away.
It won't be too long after the event that we have it out on TV for you to be able to enjoy all of the action from what is actually quite a big field of cars down there. We'll have a look here, and you can see that there's 16 sports sedans making the trip down. That's 17 sports sedans. Steve Lacey, Simon Copping, Grant Dillman, Matthew Ingram in the RX-8, which will be interesting. The ex-Bruce Banks car, I think that one is.
One of I think it's one of.
Oh no, the RX-8 one is actually ex-Bruce Henley's. The RX-7 is the ex-Banks one. Yeah. Scott Reed in the Ford Mustang, Bill Chetton, Jason Crompton in that BMW 318i, which if you check out our Blendline TV page, you'll be able to see a bit of an in-depth interview about that. Mark Duggan in the Aston Martin, Tony Barton, Nick Mantikos, Warren Millett bringing out the V8 supercar for the first time this year. That'll be good to see. Rod Monaghan, Anthony McCready, William Furcher in a Holden Monaro, which I don't recall having seen before, so that may well be a new car. Philip Ryan, Mick Bullis and Fred Gessler rounding out the field. Philip Ryan in the Nissan 280ZX with a 6-litre Chev under the bonnet. So interesting, different car. We had that there. It is on screen in the back of shot there. Actually, I think it's just coming through. Yeah, there it is on the outside, the red and white car. You can see Glenn Pro just behind him, who didn't have the best of rounds in the opening round, and we haven't seen come back out. Of course, funds with these cars are a pretty hard thing to be able to do. So
especially with time constraints as well of
with
work and what have you.
Just reading from the press release here from Wakefield Park, written by our friend Lachlan Mansell. It says the long-time duel between Bill Chetton and Steve Lacey set to continue in sports sedans. The Camaro drivers are first and second in the points. Scott Reed will be looking to battle with them, while Philip Ryan and Grant Dillman look to bounce back after mechanical dramas. Bit of a drama there for Bill Chetton down the hill in race 3.
Yeah, he just seemed to lost his way there. He did kick up some dirt the lap before, and we see a bit of on board. It might just sit out of Lacey's car. We just see that bit of drama for him up the front, but he did come back, fired back on all cylinders, and just as we've seen McCready pass Reed.
Now, the sports stands, of course, supported by Kumo Tyres, and great to have them and plenty of other sponsors on board. Reed, they're pointing for Chetton to come back past. That's the interesting thing to note as well. Reed's car more of a Trans Am design.
It is a Trans Am car. The others are sports sedans.
Sports sedans out there as well. So good to see these guys. They'll have 3 races on the weekend, and we will be interested to see how the championship develops between them. Watch this here. 2 competitive vehicles, and Bill Chetton just blasts on past Steve Lacey. He was the class of the field, and we'll be looking to replicate that down there this weekend.
Yeah, I dare say that Steve Lacey won't let him have it all his own way. And Grant Dillman, you've got to put him in the fight as well. Yeah,
it's going to be a good weekend of sports sedans racing, which we're looking forward to see as they come across the line in the short highlights package we have together there from their opening round. So a good field of sports sedans brought to you by Kumo Tyres. Check out their website for plenty of information, and make sure to check out the Wakefield Park website as well. We'll take a look at production touring cars. Multiple championships on the go there for them. We've got the club championship, the state championship, the endurance championship is about to start, as well as the class club championship. So we have some footage from their last round at Wakefield as well, which was dominated by Jimmy Vernon until he had mechanical dramas in race 2.
Yeah, he actually was clutch. Yeah, and you think that would be a fairly Evo-friendly sort of racetrack down there with some sharp corners. Our producer's shaking his head because he has an Evo and it doesn't really work around there, but he seems to win races. That's all I can say.
He's definitely
Tony Virag had to borrow a car.
Yep.
Joe Quinlos's HSV GTS.
Tony is running this weekend as he has had some dramas as well.
Well, his car should be back in. Oh no, he lost an engine on his.
I was going to say he lost an engine on his, so I'm not sure.
It's in Motorsport
Just
Park.
have a quick look at the entry list.
Joe's car's still around. It's a bit battered after 6 hour. Should be there. Michael King, of course, runs Evo 10 there as well.
We've got Corinne Virag entered, but no Tony Virag. So I guess Tony
1 hour
is
in
not
June. Maybe they're sharing.
No, they're not. They're not on the entry list.
Team manager for the weekend.
Yeah, no. Anthony Sill, I saw as well as information, taking the Evo 10 of CXC Global. They announced that today. So that'll be interesting. I think he's sharing with Dylan Thomas, even though it's written at the moment Dylan Thomas and Gavin Holland in one car. I believe Anthony Sill and Dylan Thomas are actually sharing the Evo 10 this weekend. So they'll be ones to watch. Anthony having a few dramas with his BMW, which we shall have a good run at the beginning of the Bathurst 6 hour before a few little issues. I think it was a drive shaft actually. They ended up with a weird harmonic in it, and it seemed to be vibrating a bit much in the car, and with 5 hours remaining, probably the better idea not to push it, and decided to pull out.
Well, I think it was a broken drive shaft in the end.
I know from talking to Anthony as well, he was super happy to have his disappointment broadcast for all the world to see as he sat in the car.
Well, he was under it at one stage.
Exactly.
What the problem
reflecting on what had happened. So a good big field of production touring cars as well. We've got Daniel Smith, the defending champion, out there in the Holden Commodore. Chris Reeves bringing back the Volkswagen Scirocco, which dominated Class C at the last round and was right up inside the top 10 as well. Brent Howard, Jeff Kite, Graham Shaw, Scott O'Malley, Ollie Shannon, James Harrington, Corinne Virag, Adam Gosling, Paul Pearson, Ryan Godfrey, Jimmy Vernon, John Burkhart, Matt Holt, who'll be one to watch definitely, Anthony Sewell, Thomas Miller, Dylan Thomas, Stephen Thompson, Daniel Ooshausen and Jax Ooshausen sharing the Club Sport, Michael King, Philip and Eden Thornborough sharing the Toyota 86, Gary Manell, John Fitzgerald, Harrison Turner in the BMW i30i, Zach Lascalpo, Aaron Hills, Alan Gray and Harrison Gray in the Toyota 86, and Darren Herbert in the Evo 5 RS.
We're rather remiss if we didn't mention that Jeff Kite is actually leading both the state championship and the club championship at the moment as well. And that's this particular car we're looking at the moment.
Jeff Kite on for a championship season. He enjoyed when that was pointed out earlier online that he is right up there and could be able to take it home. So,
well, it's
no doubt.
It's a class-based championship, so you're in with a chance of winning the Evo championship no matter what class you're in. It just depends on the amount of runners and where you finish.
It'll be interesting to see. No doubt more games will develop in the Kite and Holt garages. Those guys go to the track together, run their cars together, have a similar paint scheme on the cars to race together. But Jeff Kite leading the way on 192 points on both the state championship and the club championship, while Matt Holt is behind on 185. It'd be interesting just probably for Jeff Kite just to keep an eye out on Holty's boys and make sure that they don't loosen a wheel nut on him or give him a slow deflation or something.
Well, at the moment, being in...
Just the shenanigans that go on between those two. We'll have to point out the shenanigans, not anything serious.
But also should be worthwhile pointing out in B2, Jeff Kite is a fair bit ahead of his rivals where Holt and Michael King, who are battling in second and third, are actually... more likely to be dicing for position as well, even though they too are in different classes, one in A1 and one in A2.
The one to also watch out will be Daniel and Jax Ooshausen, who are brought on that Commodore. They gave it a new paint scheme to confuse us at Sydney Motorsport Park. It became silver and blue after being black at round one. Gold and blue, at round two after being black at round one, and now it'll be at round three with the pair of them in.
We called it the stealth fighter at the first round, and of course we couldn't in the second.
But those guys now developing their own car after running Evos for a couple of years that they had bought, pretty well developed cars.
They were running under Dylan Thomas, weren't they?
CXC cars. So now they've gone out and got themselves Commodore. Just running through some of the classes, and you can see that Matt Holt leads the way in A2. Peter O'Donnell in the BMW 335i leads the way in B1. B2 is headed by Jeff Kite, of course, as he leads the championship there. John Fitzgerald in the 130i leads Class C, but Chris Reeves is chasing down on him dramatically. Class D is led by Harrison Gray. He's got the upper hand so far in the Toyota 86 Championship. That's one to watch. Zach Lascalpo, Oliver Shannon and Eden Thornborough finding themselves on track together more often than not. And then Class E is led by Chris Reeves after he ran round one and has not run again since. So
in the Suzuki.
Yeah, he's gone to the Volkswagen Scirocco since then. So having a look as well at the rest of the Wakefield Park event this weekend, you got Formula cars on there with a pretty decent field. New South Wales Formula Ford returns after having a combined national round at Sydney Motorsport Park last time out. Formula V we'll no doubt see the CXC guys.
Yeah, the
battling at the
Formula
front.
Ford field might suffer a little bit because the National Series is racing at Winton this weekend.
Yeah, exactly. So they'll be a bit depleted. Sorry, I'm getting messages from our producer as we try to go through this. Improved production with a huge field. They're I think split this weekend after running together at the last round at Sydney Motorsport Park. So you'll be able to see under and over 2 litre cars. I don't see our friend on the list with his brand new under 2 litre build. No, he's not there, so no point talking about that. So he's not on the list. And then Super Sports will also be there, and they'll have some good racing. Prod Sports will have 2 half-hour endurance races on Sunday.
Yeah, they're in for just a day.
Yep.
And
Super
one other
Sports.
category,
Super
which is
Sports,
Super
just
Sports,
on
will be
Saturday.
Saturday, and then they'll pack up and go home. It's because they've got so many categories that they can't fit them all in over the 2 days. So, generally speaking, Superkart, Super Sports, and Prod Sports, oddly, all sports.
All the sports are kicked
all,
out, and away they go.
Or tend to run a single day meeting.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to see those, just check the Wakefoot Park. There'll be a timetable of events somewhere there.
Keep talking amongst yourself here as I bring this up ready for the next segment. There we go.
Yeah.
We'll bring that up, and we can be able to take my computer screen yet again as we show you a bit of information from a trip that will be available for people that you wanted to have a chat about, Gary. Kevin Bartlett back to Macau.
Yeah, Kevin Bartlett won this race, the Macau Grand Prix in 1969, and it's going back, this will be the 50th year since he won that event, and led a number of Grand Prix there, but unfortunately only won the one. He did actually say in an interview on radio last year, we were talking about it, it's still the same layout, but the seawall was not there at that point, and they'd had to stand people there with frogman gear on, ready to jump in the water in case the car flew and then end up in it. But what we're having here, and if you go to www.helenwongstours.com, you should find the links there to find out about this trip and what it is. It's a seven-day venture, joining Kevin Bartlett on an exciting tour from Australia to Macau as he celebrates 50th anniversary of success at the famous Macau Grand Prix. You should book and pay a deposit by June 3, or else you might miss out. And I'll tell you, this will be a trip and a half. Not only do you get to go and see the race that'll be there, and if you have a look on YouTube, there was some great footage which we had a look at earlier of the 2017 Macau Grand Prix held for Formula 3 cars, and the last couple of laps of that will have your heart in your mouth. It was just phenomenal.
Great
amount
racing.
of passing and things that went on. This is all day one. You depart Brisbane, Melbourne, Sydney, Cathay Pacific Airs to Hong Kong for Sea Express connection to Macau. You're staying at the Grand Lapa Hotel. Day two, of course, depart the hotel for a trip to Macau. First stop is at the Gaia Hill via the Gaia Circuit, which features a combination of fast straights, tight corners, and you get to go to the Gaia Fortress, which was built in 1620. Then there's various other day things that you go and do on the first day, and then of course the next day you've got to basically day yourself. Own arrangements to the Lisboa stand, tickets included for the race itself. Official day for the practice day, and then official race days on for the 66 Macau. That's how many they had, and so Kev won the 16th. A little bit of arithmetic there came to that. You get a ticket to the Lisboa stand, but you whatever seat you take, you first in best dressed. And same deal on race day. Then you go to Sea Express to Hong Kong Airport for connections to the flight home. Breakfast is included each day. A non-refundable deposit of $1,500 per person, and a copy of your valid passport are requested by the time you put in your reservation request 7 days henceforth of that. And all the rest of the stuff's on that site. So well worth looking at, and the stories that you'll get out of this will be worth the trip alone, I can guarantee it. The year that Kevin Bartlett won it, he was in the Mildred Waggett. He beat Sir Albert Poon and Cato. Poon was in the Brabham BT50, Cato in the Mitsubishi Colt. That's not a road car, by the way. Interesting that out of all the events raced in, John McDonald won 4 of them, and I believe he'll be there. He actually finished 17th the year that KB won it.
Well, that's no problem.
So he's won 4. Vern Shupin's won 2. Jeff Lees, you probably heard of. Ricardo Patrese won it twice. The rest of the names are not that familiar with me or for anyone else for that matter, but fantastic.
You mean you weren't there,
trip.
Gary?
I wasn't there. I wasn't.
Breaking news, Gary wasn't there.
Yeah. But
be good to see, but we'll be at Winton Motor Raceway that weekend for the final round of the AMRS. So
but yeah, dates, that's important.
18th, 19th of November.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's when it's on. But if you're going, you've got to get your name down by early June.
You can always watch the live stream from the AMRS here on Blendline TV. So
you
we'll
can, while you're there.
Plug into that while we're there.
Being part of China these days, they'll have all the mod cons and everything you need over there. And probably someone in Victoria will be laughing at us right now who's done a few events up there over the thing there. But certainly worth it. As I said, KB will give you a million stories. He raced the event quite a few times, and any of his stories are great.
Oh, great there for an adventure if you like motorsport. That's about all we've got this week on Blendline TV Live. No calendar this weekend as there's really only 2 major motorsport events happening. The Supercars at Winton Motor Raceway and at their sister track, Wakefield Park, will be there for the next round of the New South Wales Motor Racing Championships. Keep your eyes peeled here on Blendline TV. We're going to have plenty of stuff coming up over the weekend. We won't be live streaming it, unfortunately, but we will have plenty of action coming your way in the coming weeks with some post-produced television, and we'll try to get as much social media and videos up as we can across the weekend for you to be able to enjoy. And we hope you've enjoyed Week 14 wrap-up. Of course, if you'd like to be involved with Blendline TV Live, shoot us a message, either at the Facebook page or via email. We'd love to come out to your event or
we want to keep it pretty much grassroots.
That's it.
But state level is about where we'd like to be at.
Gets
car racing or automobile racing events over to the public that they don't normally get to see.
Of course, check out our Facebook page as well for plenty of Bathurst Light Car Club Hillclimb videos coming your way ahead of the National Championships later in the year. That's going to be a big one, and we can't speak it enough. Another event at Bathurst that we are going to be able to get to and enjoy. Now, this week for our special presentation race video, we're going to throw back to last year with the AMRS and the AASA. A great weekend of racing at Sydney Motorsport Park featuring the Stadium Super Trucks, which may be making a return to Australian shores. This was their last weekend of racing here since then.
Has been.
Yeah,
exactly.
Here since. So we were there with
and they're good sounding
TV.
Things too, aren't they?
Yeah, that's it.
LS engines.
Some great racing coming your way now. Make sure to sit back and enjoy as the commentary team, led by Matt Nolte, bring you some great racing from the Stadium Super Trucks. Make sure to tune in next Wednesday night at 8 p.m. as Gary and I will review New South Wales Motor Racing Championships, amongst other things. We'll try to see if we can get some footage of the point-to-point as well.
Yeah, I reckon there'll be a lot of events coming up too that we can preview.
That's it. So make sure to keep an eye out here on Blendline TV. Till next week, I'm Daniel Beckinsale. Thanks for joining us, Gary.
Oh, pleasure, as always.
See you all later.
Bye.
Enjoy the Stadium Truck Race.
It's not just passing up to win that race, but every time you go by somewhere, you're getting points and the passing points, and he's just building them up because he's always near the rear of the pack.
Yep.
And that alone has been one of the main reasons of why he's so far ahead in the worldwide championship point standing. So passing points have been a key thing for Matty Brabs, and it's going to continue to be as the season runs on.
6th time. In fact, he started from the very last row. He's on his lonesome there as we've cleared the back of the grid there, just letting the Toyo tyres ramp in on the final turn. That's where the competition caution will end at the end of lap number 6. From that point, single file down this long Brabham straight. Ironic, isn't it, really, when it's the Brabham leading this series. We're just getting started, ready for the start here in Sydney. Race 1 of the weekend and the 15th of this year's Boost Mobile Stadium Super Truck Series. They're back on Australian soil and ready to rock once again. It's a third different venue they've raced at in New South Wales. We debuted here at Parramatta at the Valvoline Raceway down the road in November back in 2015. We raced on the streets of Sydney Olympic Park. but on a road course for the very first time.
So here we go. This is the flag is up. Green flag is up. We are inside 30 seconds before we are about to go. Green flag racing here. Boost Mobile Stadium Super Trucks powered by Speed Energy. Inside 15 seconds as the flag is out flat. When you see the flag, you bring it all the way down, and the flag was called back in from race control. We don't see that very often. Possibly could have an issue with a competitor. And nope. Sneaky, the flag is pulled in the booth and out, and we are off and running as Matty Nolan jumps a big start. So good for him as he pulls an immediate lead over Russ Engel. Right there behind him is the number 1. That's the dude, Paul Morse. Morse already going to the inside of Engel. Makes an early pass. Nolan leads him into turn 3 right there. As they're going 3 wide, you see Harlan. He gets all kinds of sideways, swapping paint already. Getting into turn number 2 right there. So getting a little wild. Brabham, he's trying to make up one spot there. Got to the inside of Robbie Gordon. Not able to make it happen as they swap a little paint going up this hill.
I like the way Nolan parked it down the middle on the way up to the top. So they clear the Boost Mobile ramp. It was here by popular choice. We planted the top of the access tunnel, giving these trucks some supreme airtime. Down to turn number 4 for the first of 11 times into the sharp left-hander. Hildebrand up on 2 wheels there for a split second in that Empire Destructive number 68. Your leader is Nolan on the charge down here to the right-hander and back onto the short straight. Here comes ramp number 2.
As you see right there, it looks out in front. It is, I believe, Paul Morris in the lead. Nolan getting some heavy pressure by Hildebrand. Hildebrand to the inside. Yes, he's able to make it stick. Not getting the qualifying position he wanted earlier on, but as he said, he's got the speed. You saw him hiking it up on 3 wheels earlier on. He's getting the power of the ground. Toyo Tires is assisting with that. There's the number 21 BT Fuels of Nolan bound in behind Hildebrand. Big air right there. The cameras do not do it justice. Pushing about 240 feet in distance as they are wide open. We talked about the draft. We're going to see it happen. Right now we see 2 of the Boost Mobile teammates helping each other out through this section as well. So that being said, diving into turn 1, running almost flat through that section. Potts to the back. He got back by Brabham. Brabham for a moment had moved up into the 8th position. Must have made a mistake. Potts got by him cleanly. Right now we saw some earlier action right here. More contact between Engel and the number 47 of the Hoff. Hoff right there. Now Robbie Gordon, number 7, Speed Energy Boost Mobile Truck. He moves up another position. Hikes up almost on 2.
Now Brabham waited for the entire first lap to sit back there at the tail of the field, and now he's set it to kill across the Boost Mobile ramp, and Nolan with the tooth chipper on the way down. Big moment for the VP Racing Fuels Club, Clipsal number 21.
Yeah, wow, wild ride right there. He's got to collect himself. He's like, what just happened? Really front and low on that one. Oftentimes that means they didn't lift at all going off the ramp. They need to kind of chop the throttle as if a sprint car setting it up going to the turn right there. And maybe he didn't really trying to go for it. And the truck did not react the way he had hoped to. So he dropped back quite a few positions there, losing about 4 spots. So a wild ride for Nolan.
So into the final set of turns, you're watching Hoffman, Gordon, and Brabham, who started from the rear of the field. And on the charge, the new livery, the Speed Energy, Toyo Tires, KMC Wheels, and Boost Mobile sponsored. Number 7, as we got a challenge on now, heading down the main straight. So Morris has got the lead, but it's that big hole in the air he's creating for the 2 behind him. Hildebrand being pushed along, trying the outside. Harlan pulls to the inside here. They might just leave Hildebrand at the tail, or he might hang tough on the outside. Well over 200 kilometers per hour. And the man from Yucca Valley, California is hanging tough on the outside.
Oh, wild ride there. Hildebrand, very smart for a minute. He was on his own. He said, hey, I got to pull in behind Morris. We need to work together here. Did end up losing a bit of a spot there, but that was smart, and then there wasn't much to do. Look at Harlan, United Fiber Data, right to the inside, the number 55. He moves up another position. Great pass for him, very clean, gets around the dude with no trouble at all.
Position 6 to the lead now from Harlan, who picked up the win in Texas earlier this year. So the United Fiber and Data number 55 has taken the lead. Paul Morris is now second, and Hildebrand stays back in third. But that was a clear definition of how much that draft worked on the main straight. These Stadium Super Trucks punching a big hole in the air. Expect to see plenty of that over the remaining 7.5 laps.
So right now, Harlan out in front. That could be trouble for everyone. We know Harlan's got the speed. He's won races. He's got so many podiums in the last 2 years. And now we're early in the race, and he's out in front. Caught the track a little bit there. It's legal. 2 tires off in the grass, not a problem. 4, that's an issue. You're going to be penalized for that one. So right now, Harlan out in front. The number 1, That is Auslan Security. That is Paul the Dude Morris. The number 68, Empire Destructive of Blade Hildebrand, looking comfortable in P3. This is where we saw a lot of passing begin. They're all on file in. Look at, let's all be smart. Let's all use the draft right here, use each other. Blade steps out. Is it too early? No, it doesn't look like it is. Can he make it stick though? The dude's not just gonna let that happen. Matty Brabs, he has moved up, I believe, into P4 already. So great run for him, P4, P5 actually. So he's gone all the way from the back of the pack up within the top 5. Is a split. We've seen several different lines going into this section here.
Watch Gordon here. Gordon looked for the move at the top there. So those guys from the second last row, Brabham from the last row of the grid, is in the mix here. It's more side-by-side action through turn 2 and 3. Hildebrand just needs to keep his eyes forward right now. You've got 2 of the toughest from both of their countries right now queuing up to make a move on that fluoro yellow number 68. Brabham in the box seat here as we approach the half race distance mark.
Look at the way these trucks are hiking up. Oh, maybe a very aggressive move there. Dude said, you know what, I'm going to just spin them out if I stay on it. Nice and smooth, backed off a little bit. Said he got a lot of racing to go, quite a few laps left in this race. Keep in mind, one more lap after this, we will have the first only mandatory competition caution. Will they bunch the pack back up? And it looks like they've already done it. They have not gotten away from one another as we're getting ready to come around, hit that last jump, and we'll see the draft come into play one more time. That's where we've seen the majority of the passing. All these guys cheated in just a little bit there. 2 wheels into the dirt. Now they've got to get straightened out here coming out of this left turn right here. Hit this ramp plate. The thing is, Matt, you've got to land straight. You've got to be ready to go. You make a mistake off the lane of this jump, screws you right up for the entire draft right here. So right now, Harlan, Hildebrand not being able to help each other out. That leaves Robbie Gordon and Morris to make some ground up on our leaders. Robbie Gordon to the inside. Can he get Morris? Yes, he does. Clean pass for the number 7 Boost Mobile Speed Energy KMC wheel driver. Nice clean pass way to the inside. Haven't seen that line. Says Matty Babs, I see you back there. Gordon with the elbows up. Eyes in the rearview mirror, not letting the DeVilbiss number 83 get by right there. So smart driving by Mr. Robbie Gordon.
And now Cole Potts moves Paul Morris aside there, the HallmarkTrust.com entry, going side by side. Here is Brabham and Gordon side by side across the Boost Mobile ramp here. Lap 5 of 11, Hildebrand just ahead. So, like we said, Brabham from position number 9 in this race, Gordon from P7, closing the door. We've seen a lot of these tyres being locked up here today in this section of the course alone. Where's Potts going to go on this one? Nowhere to move, but guess what? We've got the comp caution not too far away in this race. Down the hill, into the right-hander, and clearing that second ramp. The margin first to second is nearly 2 seconds, but that's about to change.
Right now, our leader, once again, almost too far out in front. I believe our 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place drivers are going to gain some ground on him here on the front stretch. Robbie Gordon hiking it up. A little bit different line for the 83 DeVilbiss driver of Brabham, keeping all 4 tires onto the ground. He's so smooth, Matty Brabs, driving like he has eggshells under the pedals, never making any mistakes. Robbie Gordon, a little front end low right there as they fall in. Hildebrand, he steps to the outside. He says, I can't work with the draft, so I've got to find a different line to get me into and through turn 1 quick as possible on my own with no assistance. And there is the caution. This is your first and only mandatory competition caution. Folks, those of you watching at home and here that have not watched Stadium Super Trucks, the comp caution comes out for one reason and one reason only, to keep it exciting. And that's exactly what it's all about. So these guys have a quick minute, grab their breath, relax a little bit, think about what happened, where they've made mistakes, where they've gained time. And that being said, they will make their way back around and start single file. And the pace of the restart will be determined by the leader. Now, the restart will not be at the start-finish line. It'll be at the jump coming out of the last turn of the course. So as soon as the leader hits that jump, the green flag will fly, and the pace will be determined by United Fiber and Data Think Loud Development live driver of Gavin Harlan.
And he's the big mover right now from position number 6 in this race. Harlan, Hildebrand, Gordon, your top 3. Brabham 4th. Potts is up to 5th now ahead of Morris. So it didn't help this comp caution, but he knew it was coming out for Gavin Harlan. It's helped the likes of Matt Nolan, who is starting to drop away from the field. Some curious fans looking on from the top of this Sydney Motorsport Park course. Great to have you along if you're here at the circuit or watching us live on Blendline TV here today. Race number 1 of this weekend's Boost Mobile Stadium Super Trucks. We're back tomorrow for another qualifying session and another race in the afternoon. For mine, I was a bit shocked by how they all stuck together like that. I was expecting to see more strung out than what we saw.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you're out there qualifying by themselves, they're spread out enough. There is no draft. They can't use each other or work with each other. So the times are a little bit different. But now they're all together in a pack. Some of them are teaming up, some of them are not, and so it makes the racing that much closer. And that's also why they were spread out for qualifying, so that couldn't happen. So nobody could get really cheated out on it. But now, like I said, the levels are up. It's all-out warfare right now. And some of them are playing well with the others, and some of them are not, and that's all part of the name of the game right there.
They're all friends off the circuit. That all changes when they come out into this racing environment. So Harlan, Hildebrand, and Gordon coming around from the ramp. If you started in 7th, you've got to stay 7th at that ramp. You can't overlap at the top. It's when the leading driver, Gavin Harlan, who's been supreme this year in racing more top 3s than anybody in the field, is getting set to lead around. Blade Hildebrand needs to lock onto the back of that UFD number 55. Gordon is 3rd and is looming in that bright orange Speed Energy Toyo tyres, number 7, as around they come to start the second half of this race. The Boost Mobile Stadium Super Trucks, presented by Speed Energy, is back to green flag racing.
Matty Brabs, a little bit of a gap in between him and Gordon. I believe he's doing that on purpose. He could get a bit of a run at that ramp. That's smart racing right there, and move up that gap a little bit. Robbie Gordon, he steps to the inside. They go 3 wide. It is Harlan. Gordon gets by Hildebrand, makes a clean pass. Hildebrand's a little wide right there. Brabham, he's waiting for one of them to make a mistake. Look at Hildebrand, back to the inside. He said, listen, I'm not letting it go that easy. To the outside, the number 68, very, very aggressive, gets in the back a little bit, a bit of a mistake. Brabham's able to capitalize on it. They might get a 2 for 1. Potts gets to the inside, the dude makes a move. Hildebrand running so well, but a bit of a mistake. He lost 3 positions with that one minor mistake.
And he took to the dirt too on the exit of turn number 2. Harlan, Gordon, and Brabham clear the Boost Mobile ramp and plunge downhill into turn number 4. So Hildebrand drops back at least 3 positions on this lap alone. The Empire Destructive Heatwave, number 68, with all the work to do now in this second part of race number 1 here today, carrying that left front wheel for at least 100 metres. Down the hill we go again.
He's really hiking that truck up on 3 wheels, getting it hooked up. He's been running really well, but like I said, when the pack's this close, you make a small mistake, it is a massive, massive negative to you, as he lost 3 spots there. We do have a fair amount of racing left. Can Blade Hildebrand make those spots up? Absolutely he can. Is he talented enough to do it? Yes, he can. So we're just going to have to hold on and see what happens. Meanwhile, right now, they've all got to catch Gavin Harlan right now. I know Chris Harlan watching at home. He's on the edge of the couch, very, very excited, watching his son almost run away with it, as he's looking very comfortable out in front of United Vibrant and Data number 55. Now we got a good battle. It is Brabham and Gordon. Brabham to the outside, Gordon to the inside. Cole Potts, he's like, you know what? I'm part of this party as well. Sitting up on the hill on the infield of Cole Potts' group of people. Oh! Gordon out into the pucker weeds, way off, hashtag dude mower, as Speed Energy KMC wheels Boost number 7, about good 15, 20 feet off the track with all 4 wheels. Won't be a penalty for that one because he penalized himself. So that moves back several spots. Potts moves up, Brabham moves up. Robbie Gordon not going to be happy with that.
Cole Potts now the big mover. 4 positions. That HallmarkTrust.com entry on the back of Matt Brabham. Lap 8 of 11 here into the right and left combination. So they settle in. You can feel the intensity starting to rise now. Brabham pushing Gavin Harlan along. Into the right handle we go. So expect Brabham and Potts. He'll need Potts to push Brabham along here if they want to make the move on that 55 ahead here.
Well, as we said earlier on, the last lap here, I mean, you always want to be in the lead. But we've seen how many passes on the front stretch here, and the passes are about made by the time they get to the checkered flag, the start-finish line. That being said, does Brabham want to try to get by Harlan right now? I would think right now not a bad idea, so you're not taking so much pressure from Potts and from Gordon. But it gets down to the last lap, man, you never know what's going to happen. So it's going to be an outright drag race here to the checkered flag for these guys. And I have a good feeling, because Potts loves Australia, that he's going to be in the mix right to the bitter end. And so exciting stuff for Potts and the entire Potts family up on the hill here, right behind us on the infield, cheering him on.
So good battles. Wherever you look, contact in the middle of turn number 1, and that was Hildebrand right on the exit for the second lap in succession. Gordon finds the outside as down the inside at the top of turn number 2. Oh, Hildebrand's well out of control here, and will lose another position in that Empire number 68. It was all happening through turn number 1.
And again, Hildebrand is very, settle down there. up on two wheels. It's a little early to be doing the Joey Chitwood show up on two wheels there. Hillclimb, we've seen this from him before. He'll make a mistake, and the young man gets very frustrated. Frustration allows more mistakes. Right now, he's got to calm down, just relax. Hey man, we've got a few laps left. Let's just chill out, because it's one mistake after another, and that's not the way to get to the front of the pack, and he knows that. He's just frustrated. Meanwhile, out in front, the number 55 of Harlan, followed by the DeVilbiss, number 83 of Matty Brabs. Cole Potts right behind him, and the HallmarkTrust.com. And behind him is Robbie Gordon, the number 7, who has made back-to-back mistakes in the same spot in turn 1. Right now, hiked up, looking really good. Harlan looking comfortable. Potts to the inside of Brabham. Brabham so fast in qualifying. Potts says, man, I got something for you, brother. Too wide. It is Potts and Brabham. Potts has to pull back in behind Brabs, looking for the draft. Look at them following each other like a snake down the front stretch.
Brabham pulling out for the move now. He pulls out the slipstream into turn number 1. Lap 10 of 11, so Brabham takes the lead in that DeVilbiss Hawk Performance number 83. Cole Potts now lining up on Gavin Harlan, who'll park it down the middle at the top here of turn number 2. And Gordon back in the mix here as well. Harlan puts it to the inside, and Potts, if he stays there, he'll have the better run when the change of direction happens to the top. We haven't seen Cole Potts in the top 3 since Perth earlier this year, and now he pushes. He pushes the UFD truck, trying to make the door open there on the backside of the circuit.
Potts pushing the truck, pushing what's legal, pushing to get to the front. So far, I don't personally see a penalty right there. Man, Potts loves Australia. He runs so well when he's over here. That number 60, HallmarkTrust.com. It's getting down to the nitty-gritty here. He's like, hey, if I got to start moving people around, I'm going to start doing it right now as he gets into his buddy, gets in the back of Harlan. Good friends, but not on the track, as none of them are. Right now, that gives an opportunity for Matty Brabs to pull away a little bit. I believe he should be seeing a white flag coming out. Brabs has enough lead right now where he should be able to hang on to it as long as he is nice and smooth and doesn't make any mistakes. But you can never discount the number 55. He doesn't like the Cobra, but I call him the Cobra, Gavin Harlan, because he will strike so quickly that you don't even realize it's happened. Next thing you know, he's gone by you. So there's Harlan, Potts, Gordon. That is second, third, and fourth. Come down, white flag is out. So we're going to have to see something kind of crazy. He's going to have to make mistake grabs, I think, to lose the first place position right now, or Gavin Harlan's going to have to dig deep down in his bag of tricks, which has been getting deeper and deeper the last couple of years. He's got a lot of hot moves that some of these other drivers cannot perform.
So, moment of truth now for Harlan. This is the last lap of race number 1 of Boost Mobile Stadium Super Trucks. Your first 3 on screen right now. Harlan under pressure still from Cole Potts. They haven't let Matt Brabham get away. These two, of course, battling out this year's series. It was 50 points, the margin, coming into this race here today. So it won't change that too much. Of course, points are wanted for the overall for the weekend. But he's running out of opportunities as we shed some skin off the front of that HallmarkTrust.com entry.
What a great run so far. Not too much trouble there in that turn. We thought we were going to see a lot of action there, just a little bit of contact, not too bad. Right now, Gavin Harlan looking comfortable. I think he's more concerned possibly with Potts behind him than Brabham in front of him right now. And they're slowing each other down a little bit, letting Brabs, I wouldn't say check out, but certainly pull a bit of a convincing lead here with this last and final lap. So kudos for a nice smooth race to the DeVilbiss driver of number 83 of Matty Brabs. He's looking very comfortable on the final lap. Behind him, Gavin Harlan, Cole Potts. They've got an epic battle for second place right now. Robbie Gordon hoping that one of them makes a mistake and he can capitalize on it. So these guys are coming down, drag racing to the checkered flag, Matt Nolte. No draft involved. They're spread out far enough. The checkered flag flies. It's DeVilbiss, number 83, Matty Brabs. Gavin Harlan, United Fiber and Net, and HallmarkTrust.com, number 60 of Cole Potts rounds out your top 3.
It's another win from the back of the field for Matt Brabham, the series leader. He got extra points earlier today with topping the timesheets. A little bit heavier in the back pocket too for that, might I add, as well, as the rest of the field come through to take the checkered flag in race number 1 of Boost Mobile Stadium Super Trucks. Brabham, Harlan and Potts is your top 3 ahead of Gordon and Hoffman, who finishes in position 5 ahead of Paul Morrison at Auslan Security number 1.
So oddly enough, we didn't quite catch it, but looking up at the timing screen here, Blade Hildebrand dropping back to the 9th position.
Yeah, saw him come off the last turn. He missed the last ramp as well. That truck was limping on that final lap. So a race that promised so much for the Californian has come up a fraction short here in race number 1. And Matt Brabham, well, he missed the championship win last year by 1 solitary point. This year, he's leading by 50, and he just looks so much confident than what he was last year, particularly when he's doing this. I've never seen that lean from him.
I tell you, I remember the first time he tried it a couple years ago in Long Beach, he drove directly into the concrete wall. I thought it was hilarious, but right now, man, he's really got control up on the 2 wheels. What a great run for Matty Brabs. DeVilbiss, they are very proud as well. So is Headstrong in Bullet Liners. So a lot of great people behind his program. But hey, let's not take anything away from Gavin Harlan in Pop.